It has to get in that lane, which it's doing. Wow, just as I say it. That's pretty impressive. So today's a bit of an interesting one because we're hanging out with Tesla. And last week I got a call from them and they said, Ben, we don't usually do this, but we've got something super massive and huge that we have to unveil to you guys. We're gonna fly you up to Brisbane, and they never do that. So we're here in Brisbane. They have a product so important that they had to do it. So I really had no idea what to expect when I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning to jump on a plane to come check out this new product that Tesla was unveiling. And as it turns out, it's not a right-hand drive Cybertruck like I first thought. They're launching full self-driving Supervised, or FSD-S, which is massive news. And you'll be allowed to drive it on Australian roads in your Tesla if you buy full self-driving. And the caveat there is it's $10,000. But it's pretty impressive. I had a chance to play around with it today. I've probably driven over 100 kilometers with FSD-S. I'm going to show you guys all about it in this video. Apparently this is still like a bit of an early version of the FSD Supervised. So we'll see how that goes. But they did say to us that it may do 5 to 10 Ks under the speed limit and sometimes not indicate early enough. But by the time other Tesla drivers out there like you guys get your hands on it, it should be pretty sweet. So yeah, just waiting to go. See how it goes. All right, first time full self-driving Supervised. Okay, we're gonna put it into drive. Press accelerate to drive. Okay, so I'm driving right now. How do I engage it is the question. Okay, so all I have to do is press this button on the right-hand side of the car, on the right-hand side of the steering wheel, and we're off. Okay. That's kind of weird. Hopefully you guys can see on the screen, but all I have to do now apparently is just kind of sit here with my hands. And I guess that's the scary part. It's like how many people are just gonna start playing with their phone. But apparently if I take my eyes off the road and look to you guys for too long, they'd all disengage. Theoretically, I, from this point, don't have to touch anything. This is a pretty serious, I'm gonna hurry it up here because I guess if you were driving it, then you'd do the same thing I'm about to do. But I do kind of want to see if it'll pull across this intersection because it's like a dual lane road. Okay, so now see if it stops. There's no way that it pulls across this road. There's no way. Now there's a car blocking it, so it's not gonna be able to see. There's no way that it does this. I'm kind of terrified. You can see that I'm holding the steering wheel like this because I can't see shit. Okay, there's no one coming to my right. I don't know what's happening on the left. I don't think it knows either. Okay, it could pull out. Okay, it's pulling out. Ah! It did it. And now it's moving. So sitting 60 and a 70, I do wish I was going a little bit quicker. I think I can actually hit the accelerator pedal and speed it along a little bit. So we'll see if I accelerate it. Yeah, so it hasn't disengaged. I'm just hurrying it up. Autopilot will not brake. Okay, so if you're accelerating, it's telling me it won't brake. So we're coming up to an intersection. So
now enter the roundabout.
Let's see if we can figure out a roundabout. Oh God, it doesn't have good visibility either. Oh my God. Look at that. The person behind me is up my ass. Yeah, it worked it out. And it speeds back up again. So this is not an easy roundabout. It doesn't have a lot of visibility through these trees. It does know there's a car there though. It doesn't know what the car's doing. Okay, now it knows what the car's doing. It's left the roundabout, enters the roundabout. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit slower than you would drive in a car. I think this person behind me is getting quite fed up, but sorry, mate. I'm FSDing. So I'll just try and hurry it up a little bit. Okay. It's doing okay through there. I'm back off the pedal. So it's getting in the right lane. It's got it wrong. It's got it wrong. Yeah, so that was an interesting one. So it was a right turning lane just before an actual right turn at an intersection. And it thought that it was meant to use that right turning lane to turn right at the intersection. It's an interesting one because they're not uncommon in Australia, those type of intersections where there's like a bit of a slip road before you go either around a roundabout or through an intersection. So I'm going to just drive for a little bit and I'll join you when the roads get a bit tougher. We are in city streets, but I think there are some harder roads coming up, so let's cut to those. So we're about to do a merge onto the freeway. 100 kilometers an hour, car behind me. It's found a slot in the traffic. I was kind of hoping that there would be less slots, so I'd have to figure out the slot, but it has done it pretty well. And now we're just cruising. So this is the funny one, right? So we're climbing up to the 100 kilometer hour speed limit. A lot of people are going to want to use this on the freeway, and I think that's the best use case for this technology because highways, a lot of the time you just spend it doing this, which is monitoring your surroundings and sitting behind the car in front of you. This will be interesting because our car's merging at a bit of a slower pace, so we'll see what it does. It kind of, like in Australia, you just let this person in, so it has managed to do it, that utes in. It kind of managed the speed there a little bit, but yeah. On the freeway, I think it makes a lot of sense. I do wonder when it's going to want to do an overtake because we're on this freeway for the next 10 kilometers. So, oh, there it goes. Now it's doing it. Oh, it thought about it. It's doing an overtake. Smooth overtake. I mean, by far the smoothest system that I've used in terms of autonomous lane change in Australia. Use a lot of Kia products that have it. This is pretty darn good. They know what they're doing. That's very smooth. Overall, the actual steering system's not jerky at all. It doesn't pinball in the lane. It does make minute adjustments, but I'd have to say it's definitely smoother than a lot of systems out there. So the traffic's stopping, so let's see what it does. I'm covering the brake. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. It keeps a good gap, safe gap. It's an interesting one because for me, I like being in the outside lane, sitting on the speed limit, whereas this thing's just very happy to sit in the middle lane. I think when it releases to customers, you can definitely change with some of the settings and things like that and kind of make it more aggressive. I know you can do that in American markets with full self-driving, but in Australia, it'd be interesting to see how they juggle that because I wouldn't mind sitting in that lane, bang on 100. Whereas right now we're sitting at 50 in the middle lane. So yeah, I mean, the question is like, why wouldn't I just indicate right now and get in that lane? But I'm not going to do that because we're testing it. But have to say, quite impressive so far. Okay, so now I've had a bit of time with the car. I'm going to try and run you guys through how you actually do this full self-driving thing. So I'm going to go handheld for this. Screen in front of me. Let's switch to that now and I'll show you how to do this. So here's your screen. You've got a Tesla Model 3, Model Y, old gen, new gen. You'll recognize this screen. Jump into the car, bottom right-hand corner, and then you come up here to autopilot. And if you've got this software, you'll see traffic aware, auto steer, full self-driving, supervised. So that's what this video is about and that's what everyone's getting excited about. You have to go through a bunch of this information, which I'm going to put up on the screen now in case you want to read it. And basically what you have to do is switch that thing on from park or select it up here. This is a secondary menu, so you hit that one and then it pretty much does it at all times. From there, it's literally a matter of chuck your seatbelt on, swipey on this Model 3, Model Y has obviously got a stalk over here, but you hit that, you have your route selected, you press drive like this, you hit this thing. See you guys in a second. Okay, so it's getting serious now. I've been sitting on the highway for 20, 30 kilometers and now we're in the city, so this is where I get nervous. So it has to pick the lane because there's a lane off to the right here. There's the inside lane, which I think is about to end. It stuck me in the middle lane based on what's on the screen, but now it knows it has to get into the right-hand lane. So I guess it's already set itself up to do that, which is quite smart. I have some thoughts about what happened on the freeway, and generally it was pretty much bang on. There was a couple of occasions where I could see that there was a car coming up pretty fast in the distance and I didn't really want to pull in front of it because it does sit bang on the speed limit, obviously, can't exceed it. But that was an interesting one. Other interesting one, in Australia now we have a lot of variable speed signs, so they're above the highways. And there were some occasions where it thought they were stop signs because they're illuminated red with a white lettering. But it didn't get confused, which is the good news. I was worried that it was about to try and slam the brakes on. There's a car trying to jam itself in here in front of me. I think it's going to let it in. Yep, so let it in. There's another car behind me. I think this car's also going to go in front of me. Yep. I think that's something that happens when you are FSDing. But it has left a massive gap here, which I know is not making people happy, so I can just hurry it up by hitting the accelerator pedal. If you couldn't do that, it would be a little bit more of an issue, but let's see what it does here. Should get in that lane. Yep, got in that lane. Didn't indicate. Okay, probably should indicate in that situation. This is a tight corner. Okay, we can do it. We've got a stop sign up here with a left turn on a one-way, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem, but there are cars coming down off a bridge, so I'd have to read a little bit of elevation, but we'll see what it does. Stop sign. There's a chance to pull out in front of this truck, but there's cars on the outside lane. It doesn't know that it's 2 lanes, so it's not that keen to pull out. Okay, won't have a chance to pull out yet. I'll tell you when I'd pull out, and we'll see when it does it. So there's a chance now. It didn't do it. No, didn't do it. There might be a chance in a second. Okay, so it's pulled out in front of someone. Not aggressively, but it has pulled out in front of someone, which is not going to make them very happy. It has to get in that lane, which it is doing. Wow, just as I say it. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, that's pretty quick. Just as I thought about looking at the screen, by the time I looked at the screen, knew I had to be in this lane, I'd already thought about it, so that's pretty impressive. So let's see how long it takes for the system to disengage. So if I stop staring ahead, the interior camera should know that I'm not watching the road, and it should beep at me and basically tell me that it's about to disengage. So I'm going to stop staring ahead. I'm going to look out the window. Let's see. So it did take a little bit of time. I'm now looking ahead again and it re-engages. So if I sit here and pretend like I'm playing on my phone, let's see how long it takes. So that didn't take long at all. So it is a supervised system. It's not too bad. I think a lot of the new electric vehicles that we're getting in Australia are a little bit too aggressive. I think this one's probably a fair amount. It did take a surprising amount of time to yell at me when I was staring out the window, but I think overall it's still pretty solid. There you go. So we are now on loop 2 or route 2. So we drove all the way into Brisbane City from out near Mount Cotton, I believe. And now we're here on some back roads, 50 km/h speed limit. There's a funny turn coming up, so I turned the camera on to see what it does. But so far on these back roads is great. I mean, these are pretty decent winding roads, and it's not hanging around. There's not any amount of phantom braking or things like that happening, which is quite impressive. The wheel speed is normal. It's smoother than so many drivers out there, especially on the controls. Like, it just slows itself down, speeds itself up really easily. Let's see what it does here. This looked like a bit of a confusing one on the map, and it is a bit confusing. So let's see. Stop sign, giveaway sign, sorry. With quite an angle to it and a bit of a bridge, so yeah, nothing wrong with that. Does its job. Didn't indicate though, bit strange, and we'll see how it goes here with the speed, because there is a car behind me. You do find yourself hitting this accelerator pedal quite often. Interestingly, so I'm hitting it now, I'll bring it up to 50, hit max 50. It's pretty happy to sit there, so it's a funny one. It kind of struggles to get up to the speed, but once you hit that accelerator pedal and kind of hurry it up a little bit, it's pretty happy to stay there. But yeah, I mean, so far so good. Looks like there's a couple interesting turns coming up, but honestly, so far there hasn't been much to write home about. I haven't been able to trouble it. Coming into one of the car parks where we just did a little bit of a stretch our legs moment, there was a car that it didn't see on the other side of a garbage truck. So the car came out from behind the garbage truck. There was only enough room to fit one car at a time. And it did move over a little bit, but it was just a situation, I think, where you just decide to take over yourself and use your humanness as I'd like to say. So I think you'll agree that the full self-driving supervised is pretty darn impressive technology. But now that we're back in the car together, I want to read through some of the questions that you guys might have, and we do have some answers. We weren't able to do a Q&A or an interview with any of the Tesla folks that were here, but they did answer some questions themselves that we might have together. So when will customers with full self-driving on their Tesla get their updates? So they say it's closer than ever. This technology it's functional on public roads, and I think it's only a matter of time at this point. They are going to do a scheduled release to customers with full self-driving software already on their vehicles. So that's an interesting point. So to get this software, you have to have full self-driving, which is a $10,100 option, $10,000 option here in Australia, available on all Teslas. What models will get it? Model 3 and Model Y HW4. And what are the options for customers to get full self-driving once launched? So it'll be available as a full self-driving option. So if you get full self-driving, introduce a subscription model. That's an interesting one. So it sounds like it'll be potentially subscription on top of full self-driving. I guess we'll find out. And you'll get a free 30-day trial upon delivery. Government approval questions. They have outlined this. It's level 2 ADAS. So it's compliant to all current state and federal laws. And ultimately, as you saw in the video, that the driver must maintain responsibility for the vehicle. So when I was staring out the window earlier in the video, it did catch me, which is good news. And then finally, who's at fault in an accident? And well, that would be you or me, the person behind the wheel, which is the most important part about all of this technology that you've seen today in this video. So as we pull out of here, I just put the cameras down, it doesn't really know what it's doing. So it's telling me to pay attention to the road and then takes off. So I was staring at all these cameras, setting things up. It does use the interior camera to tell me what the heck I'm doing. And now we're off. It's literally that simple when it comes to this full self-driving supervised. You might be able to tell on the screen, it's going quite slow, 30 to 50. I can hurry it up. We'll see what it does down here because it's actually, it doesn't know it's in the wrong lane. So I'm just gonna take over for a second and then reactivate. Okay, so we're back on track. It's a funny one. It was a solid line and it pulled into the sort of inside of the solid line. But now we're back on track. Stop sign with a right turn. There's a car indicating down there. There's a ute coming. Hopefully it doesn't pull out in front of this ute. No, it has seen the ute. And now it should be sweet. Good to go. It does stuff as quickly as you can think. So it'll indicate as quickly as you would as a human. It pulls out in front of cars fairly safely, but firmly, like it doesn't hang around. And you don't want it to either. You want it to be assertive in what it's doing when it's driving. It is darn impressive. This is quite early software. The one that people will get and will be rolled out to everyone else is better. It sits at about 10 Ks under the speed limit in most places. But if I hit the accelerator pedal with my right leg, it's still self-driving, supervised, but it kind of speeds itself up a little bit. So now we're sitting at 50, which is the speed limit. Reads the road signs. Compared to a lot of other lane keep systems that I've used, the Tesla one's quite special because when there's no line marking on the road, it doesn't just freak out, disconnect, and then you go, oh shit. It can kind of understand based on where the cars are around you, based where the roads are going much further ahead than I can see, where the line markings might be, and it figures it out from there. I should say that we're on the third leg of the journey here. See how it negotiates this double roundabout. So there's a car coming around now, it's seen it. It does have a chance to go now, and away it goes. It's so impressive. Okay, so we're driving through much more heavily populated areas now. I've got the full self-driving supervised going. It's pretty darn good so far. A lot more traffic on the road, dual carriageway. There is a clear way here at this time of the day. Traffic stopping, it's stopping. But you know, there's cars like right now on my right-hand side, there's cars turning to the right. You don't want to be in that lane, you want to be in this lane. It can figure that sort of stuff out, but I want to see how it goes in terms of negotiating a lot of this traffic because there is quite a lot of it. So it's pretty keen to sit behind cars. If there's an upcoming turn, it likes to be in that lane. On the highway, it did a good job of getting out of the way, but on dual carriageways like this where there's a lot of traffic, it's like you would. You want to hang in the lanes where people aren't going to be peeling off to the right, to the left. It knows roughly where it wants to be like you would, which is, I think, one of the impressive things that stood out to me so far. It's very quick to pull away, and it kind of does that creep forward thing that a lot of cars or what a lot of drivers do. It's funny when I say cars because I'm really talking about humans. A lot of humans do. You would as a driver. Highway's coming up. It needs to be in the left-hand lane, which it is. Roadwork ahead, truck on my right. There's a lot of stuff happening. A lot of things that the car has to think about that I kind of feel like I have to think about, even though it kind of goes to the back of my mind a little bit. Car turning here on my right-hand side, trying to get in front of me. It definitely is quite courteous. It lets people in. It doesn't cut people off. In that situation, I probably would have let that guy in too, so coming to a stop. It's really good at stopping, I think. A lot of, you get in an Uber and it's just a lot of herky-jerky, but this car's very smooth. A lot of drivers, you know, they just haven't figured that bit out yet, but this is doing it. We'll see if anyone tries to jam it here in front of me, because this is the only turning lane to jump on the M3, South Brisbane, so, oh, sorry, North Brisbane. Yeah, no one's jamming it in front yet. It's getting a little bit too close to the left-hand side of the road for my liking. But... oh, so it's waited at this intersection, so it knows the traffic ahead stopped and it's waiting for it to move. Yeah, so now it should go, yeah. That's pretty impressive. Like, I mean, it's basically doing exactly what I would have done if I was driving, which I guess I technically am, but I'm not. All right, merging onto the freeway here. Let's see if we can pick a gap. This is really interesting to me. Like, I kind of figure out it's going sort of to a slight 45-degree left. It is. It kind of needs to pick up the pace a little bit. Car behind me is getting a bit pissed. Okay, I'm just going to hurry it up a little bit here because we are merging onto a freeway. I'm just going to let it merge actually here because... okay, so there's a truck, so this will be tough. Two trucks. One's actually moving or trying to get left. So it's not merging because it doesn't need to merge, but okay, now there's a truck right next to me. I would like it to hurry up a little bit here, but it needs to get right. I think it's trying to let the truck go past and get right, but we'll see what happens here. I'm going to let it do its thing. It does need to get right pretty badly though. Just go behind, go behind, go behind. It needs to get right now. Okay, it's figured it out. Go, 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 go! Go. No, it hasn't figured it out. It's a bit of a me problem now. Oh no, maybe it has. I think I'm actually wrong. Wow, the computer was right. I was wrong. All right, we're gonna resume. I think. Or maybe it was wrong. No, I think it was wrong. Nah. It got it wrong. I was right, I think. Unless this is about to turn right and then it got it right. No, but it has, okay, so it got it wrong. It missed the turn. I did need to be over there. I was a bit unsure too. The computer got it wrong. I got it wrong. It has rerouted itself and it's added barely any time. So that's really cool. Look, in that situation, I would have taken over, but I just wanted to do it for sort of argument's sake. But I would have taken over. This is an interesting one too, because it's going to have to get right pretty aggressively here. Like fairly swiftly. It's got 200 meters to get in the right lane for a roundabout. It's got to go now. Yeah, it's going. Come on, go! Faster, faster, faster. See, that's not how someone would merge. And now there's a truck. It needs to go again. Go again, go again, go again. I guess all lanes go right from here. Okay. I'm just going to trust it. Not trust it. I'm just going to let it do its thing. I still don't trust it. But I'll let it do its thing. I have more trust for this than any other ADAS system I've used, but... it does need to get in the right-hand lane, I think, though. Come on. All right, we're coming to a stop. See, I also wouldn't sit behind a truck. Oh, now it's trying to get right. See, no, let's not do that. It's sitting in an intersection trying to turn right. So that's not right. No, stop trying to do that. See, I'm just going to take over. Because it knows that it needs to be in the far right-hand lane, but that's not how you merge. You don't stick your indicator on at an intersection. And now the problem is, because I've done that, no one's going to want to let me in. So we'll see. The interesting thing is we have rerouted onto a route that isn't like in the pre-scheduled routing that Tesla's have given us. So the skeptics out there, it's an interesting one. Okay, now I'm just going to get it in the right-hand lane here. We're going to resume, if it lets me. So now we're resumed. Now it's doing its thing again. It probably would have worked that out, but I'm not really a crash test dummy, so I'm not going to try and figure that out. Anyway, this is still not on the route that Tesla has given us. It has had to redirect itself, so we'll see what it does here. Okay, it's pulled away fairly aggressively, as it should, at a right turning lane. I am just going to hurry it up here because it's just... Everyone wants to squeeze through the right turning lane, so I'm pretty inclined to just give it a little wriggle on. Trailer, yeah, it's avoided the trailer. I think it's a truck. Weird roundabout here. Surely you can't see through that. No, it can. A little bit hesitant. I'm not sure it could really see around the corner there, but neither could you as a human, so. Okay, so it knows that it needs to get in a turning lane here, I think. Yep. So jump there, go. Okay. All right, it's done it. I still don't know how it can tell the difference between a right turn arrow and a green light. It's an interesting thing. I don't know how, because on the screen in front of me, I can't tell that. And also, all these cars are parked in the lane. It's figured it out. Yeah, it's figured it out. It stopped it to keep clear. The light has now gone green to turn. It's not creeping. Okay, now it is. It's pulling quite hard, actually. Okay. Now this is going to be on a bit of an arterial road, indicating... Now there's a couple lanes here. It's got to figure out what lane it wants to be in. So you're turning left in 1 kilometre, so it can just chill. So that was an interesting one. There was a keep clear. It knew that. It stopped. The light ahead, you tend to drive into that keep clear, has figured it out, and then it's pulled through the intersection. So that was a bit of a test for it. Haven't had many of those situations yet. And it did it with really no issue at all, so that's quite impressive. So there's some interesting ones coming up now. We are in Brisbane City. I've absolutely no idea where we are. Bedford Playground Park, if you want to know what roads we're driving through. It's going to do a left, a right, another right, and another left. So this is going to be a challenge. I feel like they've added this to the route for a reason. Who knows? I don't know. When we rejoined the route, we got detoured, we joined back. This is a bit of a funny one. Let's figure that out. So there's a bus in the left turning lane here, but it needs to get in that lane. So I don't know if it's worked that out yet. But I'm going to monitor for cars coming behind me and we'll see what it does. This will be an interesting one. I think this is the biggest test that it's had so far. Okay, come on, get in the left lane. Oh, so actually, no, so it's smarter than I am. It knows that it doesn't have to get in the left lane. There's now a guy walking in front of me. Let's figure that out, no problem. See if it creeps. I feel the brakes disengaging. It's not creeping. So left, there's people walking at the crossing ahead of me. This will go green in a second, but there's still pedestrians, so we'll see what it does. I mean, at this point, we are really testing this system out to see what it can do. I mean, realistically, I would just drive this. I think a lot of this type of technology is particularly good on freeways. See how it does here. Okay, so it's figured out that there's a lane. It does need to crank a right. Okay, so it's indicated. There's no pedestrians. There's a big curb here. So let's see if it avoids the curb. It's avoided the curb. Okay. It's made the turn. It does need to stay in this lane, actually. It needs to stay in this lane, which it has. It's pretty impressive. I think we've tested this thing out quite well today. I'd be keen to test it out more in the future. But I have to say, I'm pretty darn impressed with this full self-driving supervised. So it's not really full self-driving, is it? But maybe it is. Maybe they just add that supervised bit on the end for legal reasons, but who knows? It's level 2 though. It is technically level 2, so yeah, impressive stuff. I think we need to jump back out. I'll join you back at our HQ and give you my final thoughts on everything, but yeah, quite strange to not turn the wheel for a couple hours. Here we are. But that's pretty much it from me for this video. A really interesting piece of car tech that's landing in Australia. Slightly controversial, of course, but man, it really does perform. I think you'll agree. If you got something out of this video, let me know by liking it down below, hitting the bell notification, hitting the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. And if you have any questions about FSD-S, let me know down in the comments and I will endeavor to answer every single one of them. Thanks for watching.